Good morning, everybody. We're live here from the birdhouse. We are in the month of December now, and we finally got ourselves some snow here in the Rochester area, although upstate and western New York has been getting a lot of snow over the past few days. We've got a nice little coating right now on the ground, which should cause you to see more activity of birds at your bird feeders. So once there is that first layer of snow, or any layer of snow really, um, it can be a little bit harder for birds to find food naturally. So don't be surprised if you do see an uptick at your feeders as far as the number of birds and how much they're eating. So today I've got a little update of some of the other birds that you can be on the lookout for, some in your yard, some not, as we get into these winter months here. So these are going to be some migratory birds, some birds that have eruptions that are always here every year, but some years they are seen around. And the first is the evening grosbeak. So we bring up evening grosbeaks here and there. This is one of the what are called the eruptive migrants. And so some years we have quite a few of them, as far as sightings smattering throughout the area. This year, not so much. There's been a couple sightings over the last month or so, but really not any evening grosbeak sightings as of late. But this is a bird that will come to feeder sometimes. So if you've got any kind of feeder that will attract cardinals, you might have yourself some evening grosbeaks if you are lucky. Same with pine grosbeaks. There haven't been any seen in the area this season at all, but we'll keep you posted if there are. So a couple birds that will sometimes come down here in the wintertime. Same with this bird. This is called the Bohemian waxwing, not to be confused with the cedar waxwing. Bohemian waxwings will sometimes come down further south in the winter months as well, and sometimes even form join mixed flocks of the cedar waxwings. But again, no sightings yet of Bohemian waxwing, but this is a bird that you're more likely to see in the winter months. Now, cedar waxwings, on the other hand, there's been a whole bunch of them spotted all throughout the area. They love trees with berries on them, especially. They have a high-pitched little call, and they do form some pretty big flocks. So you can find them here all year round, but they are definitely here in the winter months. And so look for them in your trees. If you have anything that produces berries, cedar waxwings should come to those. And then there's a lot of fun water birds here in the winter months. Things like common loon are easily found along the lake, along Lake Ontario. You can sometimes see them along Irondequoit Bay. So we've got the common loon. We've got things like the cormorants. The double-crested cormorants will be here in the winter months. Not as many, not as numerous as they are in the spring and summer, but you can absolutely find them here now in the wintertime. Long-tailed duck. This is a migrant that comes down here for the winter. Really gorgeous plumage, that really long tail on the males. This is one of those birds that you definitely, if you're going out birding in the winter, this is one you don't want to miss because they're not going to be here come spring, but they are here all winter long, and they will form huge, huge rafts, sometimes of hundreds or even thousands of ducks. So long-tailed duck will be here all winter long. Really a gorgeous bird to be out on the lookout for, especially if you're going to look for snowy owls. And there have been a couple snowy owls spotted so far. So we're fingers crossed that this could be a good year for snowy owls here as well. Some other ducks you can look for if you are out by the water. This is called a redhead. And this duck has, the males at least, will have the red head and that bluish, grayish colored bill. White-winged scoter. Again, out by the lake, if you're looking for the long-tailed ducks, don't be surprised if you see a whole bunch of the redheads and white-winged scoters mixed in with the mix. And we have a couple different species of what are called scaups. This is another type of duck. There is what's called the greater scaup and the lesser scaup, and their coloration is just about the same. So you can't really tell the difference between the two of them with their coloration, but more the bill and the head shape. So if you look at the greater scaup, they have more of a rounded, larger head, and the lesser scaup has a thinner head. That's the identifying characteristic that I use most often for these, but they are going to be around in the wintertime as well. Red-breasted merganser are always fun. The males have this crazy kind of plumage on their head, which looks like they've got bedhead or something like that, but they are definitely around in the winter months, same as common merganser. This is common merganser, male and female, male being on the left. And then there's even hooded merganser, which are significantly smaller. So these are smaller than the mallard ducks. And then the males are black and white. They've got that nice big plumage on the back when it's frilled up. And so did the females. They've got that same plumage shape, but they are not as brightly colored. They're more brown and gray colored. So hooded merganser are here though all winter long. And a lot of these ducks that I'm just mentioning now are the diving ducks. That'll dive under the water to get their food. So don't be surprised if you see them briefly and then they dive under the water and then they pop up somewhere else. So pretty fun to watch. Also, if you're by the water, look for these little falcons called merlin. So they will be here all winter long. And then snow buntings. People are starting to report some snow buntings. You can look for them along the lake shore, but then also along open fields. And they can, sometimes you might just see one, sometimes you might see a flock of 100 or more of snow buntings all together as they group up and they forage during the winter. So this is another winter bird for us here called the snow bunting. And as far as in your backyard, look for the red-breasted nuthatch. People are starting to report more red-breasted nuthatch over the past couple of weeks, and I wouldn't be surprised if over this next week, now that we've been getting some snow and there'll be more activity of birds coming to the feeders, that we're getting more reports of red-breasted nuthatch. Although we do have them here year-round, they are more of a common winter bird for us. So white-breasted nuthatch are going to be the more common of the two, but the red-breasted are a little bit smaller, and they are more common now in the winter time than they would be in the spring and summer. So keep an eye out at your peanut feeders, anything with sunflower hearts or suet, and that's those are some of the foods that they will eat. Brown creeper still being reported creeping up trees. They blend in super well with the bark. So if you see a little thing creeping up your tree, could very well be a brown creeper. And back to the area now are also American tree sparrow. This is south for them for the winter. So we will have them now, but not in the spring and summer months. They will go up further north, and that's where they migrate for their breeding season, but we will have them here in the winter. They've got that chestnut cap, and they have their what's called a bicolored bill. The top is black in color, and then the bottom part of their bill is yellow. Really good identifying characteristic there of the tree sparrow. And fox sparrow migrating through, you might see them underneath your feeders. They've got kind of a big pot belly. They're almost look more body shape type is almost more like a robin, but they do look quite a bit like a sparrow. But they're a larger sparrow, larger than your typical house sparrow. You might see them underneath their feeders. I've had one in my backyard once or twice, but you might have better luck getting these fox sparrows, and they're really kind of orangish in color. They're more of a chestnut kind of coloration than some of the other browns you'll see in sparrows. White-throated sparrows, definitely some of those around. White-crowned sparrows, another bird to look out underneath your feeder for. And then, of course, the dark-eyed junco. Lots of them around. I was hearing a whole bunch of them this morning, as well as a Carolina wren singing its little heart out. But dark-eyed juncos are back for the winter, and they're pretty common backyard birds, so you'll have good luck attracting them if you put out a bird feeder at all this year. You can most likely get these dark-eyed juncos. And then pine siskins are more common in the winter months as well, coming to feeders. They'll come to sunflower feeders or Niger feeders as well, so keep an eye out for them. I should also mention that we do have, of course, a whole bunch of holiday events coming up for the month of December. You can check out our event list on our website, which is thebirdhouseny.com. We have them up on our Facebook page. We're also raffling off a Vortex scope, and that's going through December 23rd. You have to come into the store to enter. All we need is your name and phone number. And on the end of the day, on the 23rd, we'll do a drawing. We will pull someone's name and phone number, and that person is going to win a Vortex razor scope and tripod. And that's a $1,500 value item. So that is definitely something you want to enter if you are local, or even if you're not that local, you might want to make the trip to come in and enter, because that's a really, really great prize that we are giving away. So we've got that going on through almost the whole month of December. And then another thing we are also doing is offering free delivery. If you are local in Monroe County, we're offering free delivery through December 23rd. So you can place your order online for free delivery, or you can give us a call and we can take your order over the phone. So we are offering that almost all month long as well, to make it a little bit easier for you to do your holiday shopping. So that is everything I have for you guys today. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be back on Saturday with another live stream. And until then, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.